Alright, YouTube stream is up as well. Streaming on YouTube and Twitch. So the goal, my goal today is to figure out what the next steps for this project are, and try to just basically do stuff, try to be productive, make progress. My expectations of my project are super low. I don't expect anything from myself since I'm handicapped. So if I do 2 of them, turn this one off, make this one really grainy. So that's pretty good if I turn that one on at the same time. So this one doesn't cut my face out, but the edges look bad. And actually the contours aren't that good. Let's see here. So this is like my general filter, but so it won't cut me out, but it looks like shit sometimes. If I combine it with my previous filter, that's pretty good. Oh, it's kind of trippy. Actually, I don't like it. It's cutting in and out. So I'm going to put this one back to how it was before. How's that? It's still a bit trippy. What if I put the green screen as well? So that's much better, but now I have like this green border around my head. Oh, whatever. This is the best I can do. Okay. So, I also have a big long list of notes somewhere about where I was. Okay, so there are bugs, there are new features, and there's also finding board members. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty narrowed in on like what Robot.js is compared to other products like Foxglove, Rerun, BrowserBotics, Weebot. And I think some of the features that are, say, like BrowserBotics, I would really love to have in robotjs.org. And I think eventually I will, but I don't think that's my priority. I think my priority is really like providing super cheap and reliable access to everyone out of the box. No installation, no download, no installation, no tutorial video, no instructions. If you have a phone or a computer and you type in this website, you can click around and learn about industrial robots. So yeah, I think the thing that I want to get back to is I basically want to make a drop-down menu when adding a new robot that lets you select the company and model of the robot. So for this it would be like ABB is the company and IRB, I don't know, 52 or whatever is the model. And then you would also be able to give it some sort of like cute name to identify it. So that was like the next big feature I was working on, and I think that makes sense to work on that. Where things don't make sense so much anymore is in rendering and physics. Rust solutions are clearly superior to TypeScript solutions, but TypeScript is superior in accessibility, so basically have a problem between yeah, BrowserBotics is a great place to look. I think it's worthwhile to just look at BrowserBotics. BrowserBotics.com. So these three examples are really good. Like this is probably the best. If I were teaching a robotics course, I would use this to teach robotics. It's really good. Not sure if it's going to work in VS Code though. Oh yeah. But this is basically it. So the difference between this and robotjs.org is robotjs.org is really set up for multi-robot, and BrowserBotics already has a lot of different robot models working. But ultimately, what I want is both of these feature sets for free in one place, so that you can define your own tasks. And BrowserBotics also has physics built in, and is using WebAssembly, not TypeScript. So the challenge is to fix a bunch of bugs, add a bunch of features, and pay my rent and bills at the same time, which is what I was doing before I moved to east side Seattle. So I feel like I've lost a ton of time on this, but yeah, that's true. Like, I lost a lot of technical development time over the last year, a lot, like a lot. But I did get a lot of feedback. I collected a lot of feedback, a lot of really good feedback, and that feedback has like pivoted my entire thinking and direction with where I want to go. Whereas I was like really focused on industrial automation with that being my training. I was like, oh, I want to compete in the industrial space. But as I started talking to people and learning more and seeing how much need there is for robotics education, because we're basically handing kids like textbooks and expecting them to understand what a robot is, when even two adults can't even agree what a robot is. So at some point it seems to make sense to make almost like a really cheap, accessible video game version of like a warehouse or factory, and use that. And that's why I like robotjs.org, but that's also why I like browserbotics.com. I really feel like these two products should be part of the same website. They should be totally free, and real-time communication could totally come in afterwards, and it could actually be a real industrial control product, and everything could live in the web browser. There's still like all the security and stuff like that would have to be figured out, almost, you know, like a big tech company. And figuring out how to do that with open source software would be weird, and so that's kind of why I want to avoid that and do that last. If you do the education and accessibility parts really, really well, then your user base will be massive, and you'll have resources to implement the real-time communication afterwards. So I already had real-time communication and deleted it because it was too good. So I deleted real-time communication to back up, implement new features, and then I can turn real-time communication back on whenever. But the problem with real-time communication is I was using SQLite, which was sending data back and forth to the server, like one piece of data at a time, whereas a real-time communication protocol bundles all the data that has changed in one refresh period, sends it to the server verifies that it's received it, and they sort of like go back and forth. So the difference between OPC-UA and SQL Sync, for example, is SQL Sync is able to update individual pieces of information much faster, but OPC-UA is much more reliable in a real-time setting, such as one where a robot would be swinging around and potentially hurt someone. So that's where I'm at with robot.js. And yeah, I think it's great because people who are familiar with phones and computers generally are good with games, and as a society we're way past boops and beeps, so to speak. You know, like we drop bombs on each other at the click of a button by now. So I think it makes sense that kids should have some sort of educational tool where they see, like, I clicked this robot off and it stopped moving. I clicked it on and it started moving by itself. And it's like a real physical thing. It's not a video game. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to work on. And I know I probably have competitors who are using Rerun, and I'll probably end up using eGUI and maybe Jolt, like Browser Robotics. It's honestly, it's a lot of work, um, and I want to prioritize. So I think figuring out the graphics is probably the most important part. When I look at robotjs.org, I'm like, those are robots because the graphic system works so well. And so I really I want to go back to the graphic system and maybe move that to Rust. So I think what I want to do is take just the graphics library from eGUI.rs. So just like the center box on the screen should, can I like highlight it or something? Just the center canvas where the actual robots and grid are. Everything around the edge should stay the same, all like the native buttons. Right, because I can like hit tab and easily navigate the website without needing anything else. Also want to try to get like I want to test it out with like Chrome accessibility features, Safari accessibility features. I really want to prioritize internet browsers on mobile and desktop. I want to also figure out how to make like an iframe widget, so that if somebody wants to embed their robot setup into like a text message or a Facebook post, they can do that. And they're like moving inside of the post. You don't have to like click it to see them. Need a drink of water. So it's crazy. I feel crazy, ranting the same things over and over, but it's just so much work, and it's so easy to spend time on the wrong thing, and it's so easy to like lose your computer, or you have the wrong computer, or a computer you're not used to. There's just so many factors involved to actually like make this, even though it looks simple and fast and. It's just me, so it's a lot to keep track of. I really need money. If I could make money to work on this, that's really what I want. And what I'm realizing as I get older is when I say something broke or it isn't good, it's increasingly like, who did it break for? Or why isn't it good for that person, but it's good for this other person? And so those types of problems and solving that for 8 billion people that's actually way more work than programming. It's figuring out like what the best solution for all 8 billion people is. And I really want to keep it like a simple tool, like a hammer or a screwdriver, not like some complicated AI beast. It's like you use this tool and you expect it to work the same the next time you pick that tool up. So I basically want to figure out like what this tool should be, make it as fast as possible for free, and then never touch it again. Like, this is how it should be. It's like, it is a hammer. there it is. Like if you need the hammer, you can pick it up. And so that is my goal and vision for robotjs.org. All right, just gonna take a quick break, walk around. Everyone's streaming, all this beautiful streamers streaming. All right, so I feel like Rerun is perfect for professional roboticists, people with bachelor's, master's, PhDs who have worked with industrial robots or made their own smart RC car even. And what I want for robotjs.org is to be for students of any age, of any capability. So I think I can really compete on that. I think I can compete on like native Chrome access tools like voice commands, drag and drop. So by optimizing like browser accessibility features instead of performance, I think could. I'm wondering, why does that matter? Why is that important? I'm just like imagining a situation in which some people want to set up a new automated process. So they buy some robots, or maybe they make one, or conveyor belts, or maybe they make a conveyor belts. But there's always this same problem where they need some sort of like management tool. Whether it be ignition or what's another good example? Like Siemens something or other. Like WinCC or Ignition, or even just a website. So the trouble with that is usually Ignition or WinCC don't work with every type of robot. They only work for like Allen Bradley or Siemens. And then if you were to purchase a mobile robot, say from Oceaneering, another Fortune 500 company, they have their own fleet management system, which they can integrate into your data and quality systems. But ultimately, they have like their own interface, their own database, their own business logic. And so kind of the goal is to make all that free for anyone who just wants to buy a space and put robots in it, or has a space and wants to buy robots and put them in it. But let's say you want to buy 3 different robots from 3 different companies. Two of them are fixed, one of them is moving around on wheels, and then also, I don't know, a Bosch conveyor or something. And you want to control it all through the same website, but you don't want to have to build anything, right? Say there's a paid option and a free option. Wouldn't you pick the free option? And I think like the application and the skill level and the development of the different products and systems matters a lot. Like if I were to compare Rerun and robotjs.org right now, Rerun is a far superior product. But if I were trying to like teach a school kid what a robot is, let's say robotjs.org is the superior product. So that, yeah, just kind of like working this out in my head, of like the direction I'm trying to take this, and if a nonprofit makes sense. I think I need 4 board members, including myself, so I would need 3 other people think I have one other person who's interested and able, and I'm looking for two more. Um, all right, so um, I think maybe the README has a to-do list in it. I basically have like a massive to-do list. Uh, So yeah, I think I've spun my cogs enough on this today, but if anyone's interested on where robotjs.org is at, it's kind of where I'm at, thinking. And another thing I'd like to do is revisit SQL Sync and see if there's a way I can make it behave like OPC UA, since it's really cheap and good. So that's all for today. Thank you.